Hi everyone! Welcome back to another Code Ninjas. I think today is going to be awesome. Today we are going to dive into winter because we're going to imagine that we have all kinds of snow here in North Carolina. And as you can see, we are going to create a winter wonderland right here. Now actually it is dangerous to have snow inside your computer because then it will melt and ruin all the circuits. So this is how we have safe snow. And this is really cool because each snowflake that you see is a clone from each other, and when it lands on the bottom or onto our snowman here, it creates a stamp of itself. So it's gonna be really cool. But before we get to that, I want to tell you guys that if you guys do Santa every year, or you celebrate Santa or whatever, or you play on this game, Google has this every year at Christmas time, where they have the Google Santa Tracker, and you could probably get on this at different times of the year. You just got the Google Santa Tracker. But all these games that you can play, they actually use simplified coding, which is what we're using here in Scratch. So this is a great way for you to learn more coding skills and for you to use the coding skills that you're using here in Code Ninja. Once again, for Scratch, you're going to go to scratch.mit.edu. This is a completely free online program that teaches kids how to code. It is made for kids by the University MIT, so it is free for families to get on there, and it is made to help you guys learn how to code. You can create your own account, and you can save your programs and share your programs online, and it's really, really awesome. Once you go to scratch.mit.edu, you're going to press the word create, of course, and eventually, there it goes, it will take us to a new screen. Now, like I showed you here on this other screen today, we are going to create our own winter wonderland with the snowman. So, to do that, we're going to get started. The first thing we need to do is we need to delete our cat sprite because cats do not like the snow. Believe me, my cat is not a fan of the snow. I know this personally. So we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to create a new sprite, and it's going to be our snowflake. So come on over here where it has the cat symbol right here, and it's going to turn green. It says choose a sprite next to it. And we're going to press the paint symbol. And this is where we're going to create a snowflake. Now, of course, snowflakes are not perfectly round, but for this exercise, our snowflake is going to be round. So you're going to choose the circle icon here, and you're going to hold down the Shift key on your keyboard while drawing a basic circle. Now, the reason we're holding the Shift key is because the Shift key makes sure that our circle stays a circle. It doesn't turn into some kind of weird oblong oval kind of deal. And snow is not purple, even though that would be kind of cool, but it is white. And so you're going to come over here where it says fill, and you're going to change the color so that it is completely white. Now for this sprite, we need it to actually be a specific size. And so to do that, where it says over here costume 1 and 110 by 138, your numbers might be a little different. It depends on how big you draw your snowflake. But I want these numbers to say 50 by 50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press my arrow key. I'm going to press my snowflake. And once again, holding down the Shift button, so I'm on my keyboard, so that my snowflake stays a circle, I'm going to very slowly alter the size of my snowflake until I hit 50 by 50. So now I'm 41 by 42, 42 by 44, 48 by 46, there's 50, there it goes. So now it's 50 by 50. And this ensures that all of our snowflakes will be the same size, and this is the correct size that we need to make our winter wonderland. Okay? Next, come on over here where it says sprite, and we're going to change that name so that it says a snowflake instead. Okay? So, going back to our code, now we're going to add a background. Now, come over here where it says our background little icon here, where it says choose a background next to it. We're going to create our own background. You don't have to do this. You can search the backgrounds. Like if I wanted snow, there's already Arctic is already available for me right there. But if I wanted snow, I could choose slopes or I could choose mountain, and I do like that, and so I might change it to that eventually, but I want to show you guys how you can create your own background. This is similar to how I did Tunnel of Doom, but I think it's important for you guys to learn how to do this. Okay, to where it says backdrop here, and we're now, you know how we press the circle icon to create a snowflake? Well, now we're going to press the square, and so basically you're just going to draw a giant square. Now we learned, and when we created Tunnel of Doom, that there are borders to our artboard here, which is the space that we're going to see here. And so we want to make sure that our square is bigger than the artboard so that our background is big enough to cover our entire screen that we're going to see. And so you can see the border edge right there. And it looks like my square is bigger than that because I want to make sure my background covers everything, which it does. Next, we're come over here to fill. Now, for a snowflake, because snowflake's just white, we had this box highlighted here, and that just lets us do one color. But for the background, I want to do multiple colors. And so I'm going to press what's called a gradient. And a gradient is kind of like if you're watching a sunrise or a sunset and you see, a bunch of different colors, the oranges and the purples and yellows and blues all up in the sky. That's they're all kind of like blending in together. That's a gradient. And here, and I press the gradient, you can see that I have the black at the bottom and the white at the top. Basically, my darker colors at the bottom and my lighter colors at the top. But I want to swap that because this way, when I press the word swap, it has my dark color at top and my bright color at the bottom. And from here, I can just choose the colors I want in my sky. So I'm going to press the black right here so that I'm working with my dark color. And I'm going to choose the color I want. So now I want to use blue. And I want to be a really good blue, but I want to be a darker blue, kind of like that. Next, I'm going to choose the white box. And here, there's the blue again. And I want it to be a blue, but I want to be a little bit lighter than my other one. So that's good right there. And here you can see my dark blue is at the top and my light blue is at the bottom. I'm going to press the words convert to bitmap right there. Okay. And now we have a really pretty background. So go back to code. I want you to highlight your sprite snowflake, and you can make sure you have your snowflake highlighted by seeing what it is here in the top corner. And we're going to add an extension. Come over here to the bottom left-hand corner where it has kind of the two code tabs stacked on top of each other. You're going to press that. And here are all the things you can add to your coding. We've done this a couple of times, but we're going to add the pen button. So just press pen. And it adds a bunch of different options for us that we get to use for our coding. We're going to use several of these, okay? Next, for our coding, I want to add this specific coding, okay? Now, I will warn you that this is where it kind of gets a little tricky. So if you need to go back and rewind this video, you can. I am getting these programs from two books we have available at Thornton Library. It's Coding Games in Scratch and Coding Projects in Scratch. So you can check these things out if you want more information or you want more visuals. But to start our coding, we're going to go over here to the events where it's yellow. And when the flag is clicked, once again, whenever our flag is clicked, this is going to start our entire coding. We're going to come over here to where it says pen. And we're going to use erase all. Come over here to where it says purple, I believe. There it goes. Hide. And this is going to, the original sprite will hide so that only the clones, our original snowflake will hide so that only clones of the snowflake will appear. And then we're going to change the size to 10%. So we're going to set size to, so right now it says 100%. If we leave it at that, that means our snowflake will be this big every single time it falls. Well, those are giant snowflakes and we do not need to create an avalanche. Okay, we just need small snowflakes. So click in that little circle. And you're going to change that number to 10. And this means that when we click the flag, this original snowflake that we created will be erased, and only the clones will show up, and those clones will be smaller versions of the circle. Come over here to control, and we're going to drag the forever over here, and this forever, once again, it creates a loop so that whatever is inside this loop, it will continually happen over and over again until we press the stop sign. We want to scroll down until we see create a clone of myself. And myself, not literally me and not literally you. Myself is meaning the snowflake. So this means that it will forever and ever create a clone of this snowflake until you press the word stop. But we don't want to do it crazy fast, because once again, we don't want to create a blizzard. We just want, some pretty snow. So we're going to come up here where it says wait 1 second. And we're going to put it underneath and inside this forever block. 1 second is kind of a long time though, so I'm going to change that to 0.03 seconds. You can make it faster, you can make it slower, however you want to do it. Depends on how much of a blizzard and how much of a pretty winter landscape you want to create. So let's go ahead and let's press play. Let's see what happens. Actually, I lied. We're not going to do that right yet. Now we're going to add a new little bit of coding, okay? So come over here to where it says control, and I want you to scroll all the way down. And you see where it says when I start as a clone, put that here. And we're going to create this new bit of coding because you can see nothing else can be built on top of it. And this is where it gets a little tricky, okay? So I'm going to try to explain this the best I can, but you might just need to watch this video or check out these books to kind of really understand what's happening here. But up here to motion. You see where it says go to X or go to Y. This is saying where do we want the snowflake to go on the screen? Okay, where do we want it to come over here? Do we want it to come over here? Do we want it to be all over the place? Like, where do we want this thing to go? So we're going to drag this over here so that's underneath our when I start the clone. And our number is going to be minus 220. Actually, I lied. Hold up. We got to put something there. We're going to do where it says green. And it's going to be pick random. And you see when I drag it over this blue block, the first circle lights up. We're going to let it click in that first circle. And then our numbers is going to be negative or minus 220 and positive 220. This block is saying, well, it's going to let us, the snow is going to let the snow to fall anywhere on the screen. And the reason we're choosing pick random is because we want it to randomly fall. We don't want it to all fall in a straight line. We want it to randomly fall anywhere on the screen. So this is letting us do so. Our number for where it says Y is going to be 170. And once again, this is going to let it be anywhere on the screen. It's going to let it fall all the way down. Okay? So that's what those numbers are meaning. Next, come over here to where it says looks. And we're going to look for the block that says change size by, right here, where it says change size by 10. Drag it over here and click it in space. Once again, we're going back over to the green operators, and we're going to pick the random numbers, and we're going to click it into space. When I drag it over, you see that that little circle is highlighted. We're going to click it into space. And we're going to change these numbers to 0 and 3. And this makes sure that our snowflakes aren't all the same size, because when you're in a winter wonderland, snowflakes are not all the same size. Some are bigger, some are smaller. So it's making it more realistic. Come here to where it says looks, and we want to show, because we want to see our snowflakes. We want to see the beautiful snowflakes that we're creating. Okay, so we're getting this so far. Come on and back over here to control and use the forever block. We're going to create a loop. And we're going to go over here to motion. And I want you, there it is, where it says change X by or change Y by. We're going to use both of these because this is going to make the snow fall. So before, these would be pick random X and Y up here, this blue blocks, it let us create random, it's going to let it randomly fall anywhere on the screen. This is going to actually let it fall all the way. The new blocks we're doing with the change X, change Y by is going to let it fall all the way to the ground. Okay, so first is change Y by, drag it over here, and we're going to do -3 or -3. And then change X by is going to be put underneath it. And once again, you're going to pick those random numbers. You're going to click it into place like that. And it's going to be -1 and normal 1. Once again, these numbers, just make sure that it can fall all the way to the ground. And it can fall anywhere it wants on the screen and all the way to the ground, all on the screen. Okay, that's all we're doing is we're just giving it, we're giving it permission to fall wherever it wants to go. Now, once again, snowflakes don't always fall, just basically fall. They kind of wiggle around because it's snow, and if the wind is blowing, it's kind of going to go all over the place. So, to make it even more realistic, we're going to let it jiggle some. Okay. And this number right here, the X by, already lets it start jiggling some, but we're going to also keep it some jiggling even more. So we're going to review where it says control, and we're going to use our if-then block. And we talked about this a little bit before, but once again, our if-then block is basically if something happens, then we are going to tell what else is going to happen. So basically, if it's raining outside, then you will grab an umbrella. If you are hungry, you will eat some food. Same thing here is if whatever we put into this little block happens, then whatever is underneath it will happen. Okay? So, in this instance, over here to the green operators, we're going to scroll. Let's see if we can find, there it is right there. And you see this green operator where it has blank and the less than symbol and 50. I want you to drag that over into this little block right here, and you can see it kind of lights up there. And in this second block, we're going to change the number to -175. Okay, 175. But in this first little circle, you're going to come over here to motion, and you're going to choose Y position. Basically, this is saying that if something, basically what we're doing is we're making sure the snowflakes will disappear at the bottom. Okay? Back over here to control and delete this cone. Delete this cone. So basically, whenever it reaches the bottom, we're basically letting the snow disappear so that it won't build up. Okay? So this is what it's going to look like. So far, you can see that our snowflakes are able to randomly fall all over the place. It's kind of wiggling back and forth like real snowflakes. And because of the coding we just created right here, it's disappearing at the bottom. It's not building up. But in really cold weather, snow doesn't just vanish, okay? It does. It piles on the ground, and we get this beautiful winter wonderland where we can create snowflakes, and we can go sledding and ice skating and have snowball fights and all these really fun things. So we want the snow to pile up at the bottom. So let's stop our program, and we're going to add a little bit more to the coding we just created here, okay? In this coding here, where it says the if in the Y position -1 is less than 175, then delete this cone. We're going to put something just above where it says delete this cone. Over here where it says pin that we added, and use the word stamp, and drag it and click it in this place at the top of here, okay? And this is once again going to let the snow pile up at the bottom. And so it should, as we're doing this, it should pile up. There it goes. So now it's landing at the bottom and it's piling up. Just like that. And it's kind of going in a very straight line. It's not really going to pile up anymore. It's just kind of keep going in a straight line. Once again, snow doesn't just go in a thin layer. As the more snow happens, it gets thicker and thicker and thicker. So we want it to get really thick because we want to create a really pretty winter wonderland that we hopefully will see here sometime in North Carolina. So we're going to add, once again, a little bit more. Let's add another if-then block. So come back over here to control and grab your if-then block and put it inside the forever loop so that it will continually happen, but below the block we did, the if-then block we just created, okay? So this is what it should look like so far. Come on over here to, yes, I believe sensing, where it says light blue colors. And where it says touching color, grab that and put it here in this little empty block here that's kind of already highlighting for us. And we're going to click the black and we're going to change it so that it is the color white. Basically, this is saying that when a snowflake touches another snowflake that's white, it's going to let it pile up, okay? Go over to your pen and do stamp so that it will create a clone of itself. And then once again, delete this clone right here. So now let's run our project again. We're going to watch what happens. So yay, our snow is piling up like actual snow does. But I have a question for you. Is the snow piling up like actual snow does? It might look like it at first, right now, but if we keep watching it, you'll notice a problem. The snowflakes are creating beautiful sculptures instead of this kind of really thick blanket that snow actually does. So you can already start seeing a little bit of the sculpture that is creating. Kind of look a little like coral a little bit. So to fix this, so that it will settle like a blanket, we're going to need to change our coding a little bit, okay? So stop this. So I want to get rid of that right there. And we're going to start that bit over, okay? So let's do our if-then block once again. Come on over here to operators. And we're going to have our and thing, okay? So basically, and we're going to plug that in place. Basically, it's saying that this is the same deal, that if whatever we put into these two spaces here happens, then whatever we put under here will happen. Okay, actually I chose the wrong block. Hold up, I chose the wrong block. There it is, if then. Now let's choose the correct one, okay? So what are we going to put in the first block? Well, once again, let's do the color white because our snowflakes are white. Okay. And here, let's back up to operators. We're going to do this equal sign where it has something blank and then equals 50. And we're going to drag that into the second block right here. And this is making sure that that both of these conditions stay true. So whatever we're going to put in here is making sure that that the snow that falls will always settle into a thick blanket. It's just reassuring that the snow will always fall. Okay. We're going to pick a random numbers right here in the first block, and we're going to change those numbers to 1 and then to 6, and then it's going to equal 1. Okay. And then once again, add our stamp, and then delete this clone. And once again, these numbers, what this is saying is we're basically making sure that the snow will settle as a blanket. It's not going to create, I mean, the sculptures are pretty, but that's not how real snow falls. We're basically making sure that the snow will settle as a blanket is all we're basically doing, okay? So let's run the project again. And you can see that it is going to start settling like actual snow instead of creating some pretty sculptures. You can play around with these numbers here. You don't have to have it end at 6. The bigger the number you go, the flatter the settled snow will look. The smaller the number you go, the more fluffy it will look, okay? So you can play around with these numbers and figure out what happens. And actually, I really encourage you to do that because the fun part of coding is just to get in here and just to figure out how you do it yourself and to play around with all these different elements because that's really how you're going to learn, okay? So we have a beautiful winter wonderland that's just beautiful and it's fantastic, but it's kind of lonely. It really is, isn't it? So let's stop this, and we're going to add we're going to add another sprite for the snow to fall on. If I go here to sprite, and here you can choose anything. If you want your snow to fall on a bat or a person, or a batter, or a butterfly, or a bear, or the cat, if you really want to make sure your cat loves snow, or a centaur. You can do a centaur too. But because we're creating Winter Wonderland, I'm going to have a snowman. Because I like snowmen. So drag your snowman so that it's actually standing on the bottom like actual snowmen do. Like this. And we're going to add this little bit of coding to our snowman, okay? Actually, we're going to add it to our snow block here. Okay. So we're going to add another if-then block. So once again, if-then block right there. Now we're going to go to operators, and we're going to do our ands here. And once again, we're going to go over here to sensing. And where it says touch mouse pointer, you're going to put this into your very first little block right there. Well, we don't want to touch the mouse pointer. We want to touch the snowman. So this is saying that whenever the snow touches the snowman, the snow will fall. And we're going to do, we had pick random 1 to 6 equals 1 there. We're going to do the same thing here. Okay. So once again, just do the same thing here. Actually, I need to do this first. And then this. Change that to 6 equals 1. Once again, this is the same numbers as here. You can play around with these numbers to have a bigger snow. Once again, the bigger, if you want to go bigger than 6, and the flatter the snow will lie. If you want to go smaller, then the more fluffy it will look. Depends on what you want to do. But this is saying that if the snow touches the snowman, it will stick to the snowman. Basically what we're saying, okay? So, stamp it. Delete. Okay? So once again, let's play it again. And there you go. We have Winter Wonderland. And from here, you can add all kinds of things that you want to your snowman. There's actually a way you can create secret pictures in the snow. I'm not going to show you how to do it right now because it is a little complicated, but you are welcome to check out this book and do it yourself. You can add music. I actually had music playing earlier. You want to come over here, let's stop this. We can add music. Let's see here. The music I had added earlier was out of those 3. That was what I had earlier. So if I want to add music, I come over here, make sure I'm on my snow deal here. I can create a new bit of block where it says when the flag is clicked. Have my forever block so I can create a loop. And my sounds, so play that until it's done. And this little bit of code is basically saying that that sound will play however long I decided to keep my program going. So, which is cool. I can change my backdrop. So if I want my backdrop to be, let's put them in the mountains, like that. Okay, so guys, congratulations. We have now created a winter wonderland, and you can see that the snow is actually sticking to the trees and to the mountainside. So if we wait, which I'm not going to wait that long, but you guys totally can. You guys can wait long enough, and your snow can fall all over the page. You can create a true winter wonderland while wishing upon a star that we will see this much snow in North Carolina this year. But thank you guys for joining me today for some fun winter games, and I will hope to see you guys soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.